Ever wondered if Dracula, the most iconic vampire of all time, was inspired by a real person? Well, you're in for a spine-tingling adventure, because in this video we unveil the shocking truth that Dracula, the vampire of our nightmares, was based on a flesh-and-blood historical figure. Grab a steak and some garlic and let's dive into the captivating story of Vlad III, the man behind the legend. Our tale begins in the dark and treacherous times of the 15th century, in a land far removed from the modern world, in a place known as Wallachia. It was here that a man known as Vlad III was born in the year 1431, in the small Transylvanian town of Sighisoara, which is now part of Romania. Vlad's story is the embodiment of fear and power. Vlad III's father, Vlad II, was a member of the Chivalric Order of the Dragon, an organization that aimed to protect Christianity against its enemies, particularly the Ottoman Empire. It's from this association that Vlad III would adopt the title Dracula, which means son of the dragon. It was a name of honor and distinction. Fast forward to Vlad III's early adulthood. At the age of 17, he and his brother Radu were taken hostage by the Ottoman Empire, a common practice to ensure their father's loyalty. These years in captivity would forever shape Vlad and his reign. When Vlad III eventually ascended to the Wallachian throne in the 1450s, his rule was unlike any other. He became known as Vlad the Impaler for his favorite method of execution, impalement. This gruesome practice involved driving sharp wooden stakes through a person's body, leaving them to endure an excruciating death. Vlad used this horrifying method to strike fear into the hearts of his enemies. Vlad's reign was a dark era marked by intense efforts to repel the Ottoman Empire and assert his power over Wallachia. His tactics were ruthless and cunning. In one notorious event, he invited the local nobility, the boyars, to a grand feast, only to have them all impaled. This act sent shockwaves throughout Europe, solidifying his reputation as a brutal and unrelenting ruler. As word of Vlad's cruelty spread like wildfire across Europe, it's no wonder that his name became synonymous with terror. But how did this real-life brutality give birth to the legend of Dracula? Enter Bram Stoker. Bram Stoker, the Irish author who penned the novel Dracula in 1897, wasn't the first to write about vampires, but his work would forever change the way the world viewed these creatures of the night. Stoker's fascination with Eastern European folklore and his interest in Vlad III's history led him to create the iconic vampire character. In Dracula, Stoker masterfully blended elements of Vlad's historical cruelty with the supernatural traits we now associate with vampires. The character Count Dracula is depicted as a charismatic, yet sinister nobleman who drinks the blood of the living to sustain his immortality. This fusion of fact and fiction allowed Stoker to craft a character who was both terrifying and mesmerizing. The publication of Bram Stoker's Dracula marked the birth of a literary icon. The novel was an instant success and introduced the world to a vampire who would become a cultural phenomenon. The allure of Dracula extended to the silver screen, with legendary actors like Bela Lugosi, Christopher Lee, and Gary Oldman taking on the role of the seductive vampire. These portrayals shaped our perception of Dracula as a charismatic, otherworldly being with a thirst for human blood. Dracula has become a staple in popular culture, featured in comic books, video games, and even breakfast cereals. The character's image is instantly recognizable, from the cape and fangs to the brooding, hypnotic presence. Amidst the terror and legend, it's crucial to remember the complex legacy of the real-life Vlad III. He wasn't just a bloodthirsty monster. He was a product of his tumultuous times. Vlad III's actions were driven by his fierce determination to defend Christendom against the relentless advance of the Ottoman Empire. He saw himself as a hero, a defender of his people against an imminent threat. To many, his brutal methods were a necessary evil in the face of a powerful enemy. Vlad III's reign, despite its brutality, did have some positive impacts. His ferocity, along with his alliances with other European powers, did slow the Ottoman advance into Europe. His tactics and resistance inspired others to stand against the Ottoman Empire. Dracula's legacy continues to captivate audiences around the world, not just in popular culture but also in Romania, where Vlad III remains a figure of historical significance. The Romanian town of Sighisoara, Vlad's birthplace, has embraced its connection to Dracula, turning it into a tourist attraction. Visitors can explore the medieval town and even visit the house where Vlad III was born, which is now a museum. Perhaps the most famous Dracula-related site is Bran Castle. often referred to as Dracula's castle. While Vlad III did not reside there, it has become synonymous with the fictional character. If you're as fascinated by history as we are, be sure to like this video and hit that subscribe button for more engaging content.